prep the same way every week, but I'm curious, when there's so much familiarity between two teams, does it change anything as you guys game plan and go about your week? Because, obviously Washington knows what you guys do well, your weaknesses, your strengths, and vice versa. Does that just come into play at all during this week?
Yeah, like you account for everything, and you go through different plans with, everything in your mindset's the same, but and everything with your routine, you can change things a little bit here and there on routine, but your process is going to be the same. But, a game where you're playing someone for the third time, of course, you look at the things that you've done against them, what they've done against you, what's successful, all those different things. So that's definitely part of our process anytime we play a team year to year, or multiple times in a year.
Nick, what does it take to get buy-in from receivers in the run blocking game?
Selfless people. Yeah, and I think that's exactly what we have there. I think that's the biggest part of it is loving your teammates, selflessness, and we've had some very big time blocks down the field by our receivers to create some of those huge runs. Receivers have a unique ability to change a run from when it gets through the line of scrimmage and everybody does their job on the line of scrimmage. To turn a 10-yard gain into a 40-yard gain, and I think it's as simple as that, selflessness.
In light of what happened in the last game between you and the Commanders, is there conversation this week with the players about not letting their emotions get the best of them?
Yeah, we had a couple penalties there last time. We've addressed that, and I think we talked about that the week it happened, right? And we've done a good job since then, and we're on that path of controlling ourselves and celebrating with each other. And, we've been doing a good job of that since then.
Nick, what's the moment like when you can see that Saquon's about to spring one, like he's just kind of getting into the clear for you, for the sideline? What's that instant like?
Probably the same as it is for you and the fans and everybody. You can kind of, it's pretty awesome. Because he's so elusive in the open field, and so you get excited, and we don't hide our emotion on the sideline. You see us kind of jumping around, having fun there too. So an exciting moment anytime he breaks one, and I think the coolest thing about it is that it takes everybody, right? It takes everybody, and that it takes everybody, and when you get in the end zone or he breaks a big long run like that, you can't wait to congratulate not just him, but the other guys that made that happen.
How early? Can I just follow up? How early in the play can you tell that he's gone?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't really think about that like that. But I know that once he does break through, there's opportunity for a huge play. I've never been somebody that puts my hands up early before like the ball is complete or something. If you got a shot open and the ball's going to complete, you don't ever. I don't think that way, I guess to say. So because I think even what I do, I think I do this every time, is when he does get a big one. I get excited, and we get excited, but my natural reaction is to look back to see if there's any penalty on the play, and to see if that long run's going to stand.
Is Brandon Graham close to returning?
I have no update on Brandon, but he's been awesome, and he's been here and just helped leading the team. I love him.
What makes you go walk through today?
Just what I felt was best for the team today.
How is Jalen doing today?
Yeah, he'll be out there and walk through. So
as an offensive guy, Nick, what stands?
He'll be out at walkthrough as well.
What stands out about Jayden Daniels as a rookie quarterback that maybe you as a coach don't see that often?
Yeah, I think he's able to do win different ways. He can win with his arm. He can win with his legs. He can extend plays and make a play with his legs. He can extend play and make a play with his arm. And so, you can see that he's calm and cool in the biggest moments. You got a lot of respect for how he's playing. He's obviously had a great year, and they're doing a great job with him over there. Their coaching staff's doing a great job with him over there, and obviously they're hot right now.
Nick, outside of those penalties, what were the other sort of big lasting takeaways from that Commanders game that
can be applied here.
Yeah, again, there's always things you learn from each game, win, lose, draw, whatever. And so we made our corrections after that game to get better from it. We made our notes after that game. I'm not going to probably sit up here and tell you all the things that we plan to do or what we expect or anything like that. I know they'll have new things for us. We'll have new things for them, and it's going to be a good matchup.
Nick, to sort of follow up on the Daniels question, how big a benefit is it to have seen him live twice versus maybe a team like the Lions who hadn't seen him live at all?
Yeah, anytime you play somebody multiple times, you're going to know things about them. But again, going back, they're going to have new wrinkles for us that we're going to have to, and like I said, we're going to have new wrinkles for them. And it'll be a game of, hey, they're doing this off of that, and we're going to have to adjust to things. So, yeah, I mean, you see the things that he hurt us on last game, and you try to correct them, and I know they're doing the same.
Nick, were you disappointed at all in yourself after that game because of the thing you had with Zach? And also, can you just talk about how Zach has kind of had a resurrection here?
Yeah, Zach's playing really good football. It's not a surprise at all. Yeah, Zach and I are good. We talked after that night. Had a good laugh, and I've been very impressed with all the plays that he's made. But not that I'm surprised at all. He's a great football player, a great Eagle. I enjoyed my time coaching him, and yeah, he's playing really good football. He's been a big time target for this team. On third down and fourth down, and doing all the things that I remember him being able to do at a very high level.
You were with Brian Johnson for a bit, obviously. Can you see some of what Brian does well?
Of course. Brian's a great football coach. And you can see his influence on the quarterback. You can see his influence on the offense, and a ton of respect for Cliff too, because his fingerprints are obviously all over that. It's his offense. So, but yeah, you definitely see. I just know how good of a coach Brian is, and you can see how the quarterback's playing. Brian has something to do with that. That's for sure.
This is your fifth straight to go from Fletcher Cox to Jalen Carter. What went into that transition? How important was that investment? How much does Jalen Carter mean to the defense right now?
Yeah, Jalen Carter's playing really good football. I'm excited that he's continuing to get better. I think I talked a lot about him and just his development and all the things. That obviously the talent's there, but he's developed so much as far as just everything, his instincts, and just continues to get better because he's got great football instincts. And yeah, to have two phenomenal defensive tackles back to back, that just says that says a lot. Same thing with Jason to Cam. I think it's the same type of deal. And so obviously you miss those guys. I miss being around Jason every day. I miss being around Fletch every day. But these two guys are playing really good football, and excited of their path and their continued development.
This is your fifth straight home game here, and you've won 9 in a row at home. But maybe other than the obvious, where do you see the advantages that being home at the Link has given you in some of these games?
I think it is the obvious. It's the atmosphere, it's the crowd, it's the noise. Like when the parity is so close, which the NFL is, and that's week to week, and even more so even in the playoffs. When the parity is so close, everything matters, right? You're not being able to communicate or not be able to communicate on offense is a huge deal. And so, I know how rowdy it will be. I know how rowdy the fans will be. And we love playing in front of them, and especially in this atmosphere, we love playing in front of them regardless of what game it is. But I know, the last time we were in this setting when I was here in 22, it was electric crowd. And then, I always remember I've said this a bunch. I've always remembered Jonathan Gannon before we played in that game, not when he rolled his window down and said what he said to the fans. But I remember what Jonathan Gannon said before we, when we got here about 2017 when he was an opposing coach for the Vikings, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this place was rocking, and I can't wait for it to be like that for while we're coaching here." And so it's an amazing fan base. It's an amazing crowd. The atmosphere is like no other. We're excited to play here.
How did the Commanders? He's looking right at me. How did the Commanders match your team in terms of their physicality?
Yeah, I think this is a very physical team. I think that, you see both teams playing with relentless effort. I can see that on their tape. I think Dan does an unbelievable job get those guys to play hard. I think he does a great job of getting those guys to play physical, and they got physical guys that are tough. And so, I think sometimes that plays into some of the, you guys asked me about the chippiness. Sometimes that plays into it when two teams are going as hard as they possibly can go, until that whistle blows. It's going to be a great battle because I really respect how they play as a football team.
Couple more?
I'm sorry.
What impresses you the most about the way your offensive line has been playing during the playoffs?
Yeah, tough, nasty, physical, smart. Just can't say enough about them. That unit of how they play. We got great leaders on that unit. Lane, all of them. Lane, Jordan, Landon. Cam's doing a great job. It's been awesome having Makai here and what he's brought to us. But again, they play hard, they play mean, they play physical, and I think that on top of all those things, you can do all those things and play with great football IQ, and I believe we do that.
And the portion Slay has still been effective at this stage in his career. Vic pointed out how much he still likes to play, and so that's a big part of it. It seems obvious, but that. I guess it's not. What's your perspective of that?
That anytime you're around Slay, you have he's got this energy and this love for his teammates and this love for football and this love for life, and that's infectious. There's a reason that he continues to be voted a captain on this football team, and so you get around him, and it's like you just can't help. He can't help himself of. His love for this, for his teammates. And I mean, anytime you talk to Slay, you're talking about his teammates and just football and just everything. So that's infectious. And, you love having guys like that. We got a lot of guys like that here. And Slay is definitely at the top of the list there of, just bringing that positive energy every single day, regardless of the circumstances, because there's something to it. It's a long season. There's something to that. And he's a phenomenal leader, phenomenal player. And, I just love being around. I've loved being around him for these past 4 years.
When you guys go up against a high-level quarterback, do you notice that Jalen's competitive level kind of ratchets up?
I think what I love most about Jalen Hurts is that he's consistent and he's the same guy all the time. And he, no matter who we're playing, when we're playing, practice, game, he's consistent. He's the same guy. He loves football. He loves the process that it takes. He loves the weight room. And so Jalen's pretty stoic. So as you guys know, and I love that about him because same thing I said about Jayden Daniels, that he's calm, cool. I feel the exact same thing about Jalen Hurts, and I don't think he gets wrapped too much into that. He's wrapped into winning and how he's going to win each and every football game. I love that about our quarterback and of how he goes about his business every day.
Last one?
In the portion of your post-game victory speech that the team publicized from this past Sunday, you were telling your players that you have business to finish. What was the driving force behind that part of your message, and how much does that have to do with you coming really close 2 seasons ago?
Yeah, our business is this next game. Not thinking about anything else. I think, we kind of talked about, when you get a win like that, all that does is make us more hungry to go out and do it again. More hungry? Mm-hmm. Hungrier? Either both are acceptable? Okay. And so, that's just about enjoy it. And that's just another way, to be quite honest with you, that's just another way to say, hey, let's get back to work. Let's enjoy this. And let's get back to work. You could say it that way. You could say, hey, we got business to handle. We got unfinished business to handle, however. But we know that the work that you put in through the week is what preps you for the games. None of us just show up at the game and expect results. You expect the results and to play to your standard based off of how you go about your week. And that's just really another way of saying that.
All right. Thanks, folks.